Hi, I'm Corrina Gordon-Barnes, here to help you feel more peaceful and connected with the ones you love. And today we're looking at the voice. No, not the TV show, but that voice that your loved one does that you just find drives you crazy, that one that triggers you. So you might be thinking about your partner, or you might be thinking about a family member or a friend. And perhaps their voice is patronising and condescending. And it has that air of superiority and like they're talking down to you or like you're a 5-year-old. And that voice it just drives you crazy. Or perhaps their voice is really aggressive, it's harsh, it's sharp, it's mean, they raise their voice and you just hate it. Or perhaps for you, the voice that really triggers you is that poor me, martyr, like sighing and kind of, oh, life is so hard. And that voice, you just can't bear it. So what can we do about these voices? Because other people's voices, that person's voice is outside of your control, right? It comes out of their mouth, it comes out of their vocal cords. So do you just spend the rest of your life feeling frustrated and triggered and annoyed? Or is there a way to peace that is within your power? Well, if you've been connected with me for a while, you know that the answer is that there is always a way to peace that is within your power. So today we're looking at the first 2 things you can do when someone's voice triggers you. The first you can do is that you can ask them. You can ask them to change how they speak with you. So making requests, this is so in our power. To make a request doesn't mean the other person's going to agree, but we can make a request. We can say, please don't speak with me in that tone of voice, or please don't speak with me that way, or please would you lower your voice? You can make that request, but if for you it feels like you really can't make that request, or you've tried and they just don't respond, don't worry, that's just option 1. The second option is such a powerful one. Are you ready for it? The second option is that you can see their voice as a mirror. And you might be thinking, no way, that's ridiculous. I never make that voice. That is in no way a mirror for me. I am never aggressive. I never am patronising. I am never poor me martyr. And you're probably right. Most of us, when our voice comes out of our mouth, we do a really good job of it being polite and kind and smooth and warm. But what's happening with your internal voice? Really ask yourself that question. When I hear this voice in someone else, what happens to my internal voice? That voice in your head, what happens in my head? So when I was preparing and thinking about this video, I was actually sitting in the library in Cambridge, the central library. And I was sitting there, nice quiet library, and this couple was standing by the bookshelf right by me. And the woman in the couple, she started to talk in a very loud voice, complaining about the Ordnance Survey maps that she was looking through. And instantly I just felt so annoyed, like this is meant to be a quiet space. And what do you think that voice inside my head was like? It was loud in my head and it was complaining. So it was an exact match. The voice in my head was an exact match for the voice that was annoying me so much on the outside. So this takes a lot of honesty, a lot of self-awareness to look inside yourself and say, right, when they're being aggressive, when they're speaking aggressively to me, does my voice become aggressive? Do I kind of fight back? Do I shout back mentally with that voice in my head? Does that become an aggressive self-talk? Or let's say you really get annoyed that they're being poor me, martyr, and maybe inside of you, you go something like this. Oh, it's just not fair that I have a mother like this. Why is she always like this? Why do I have to contend with this? And so inside, you can find that martyr voice inside you, that poor me voice inside of you. So it's really, really easy and understandable and normal and reasonable that we think the problem is out there, that we think the problem is their voice. But this is the way to peace and this is the way to power, is to get honest, get self-aware, really reflect, take this challenge this week. When you hear a voice that triggers you, ask yourself, what's my internal voice doing in response to this? Because that is something that you can deal with, and it opens up the possibility of connection with that other person, because look, you have the same voice. And if you're feeling uncomfortable, like, I don't want this voice in my head, what can I do about this? Get coaching. This is the same question that an athlete asks, how do I run faster? How do I throw further? You get a coach, you get coaching. So speak with me about that possibility. The link is just here. Come over and fill out the form on that page. And if you found this video useful and you feel like others would too, please share this with them, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and come over to CorrinaGordonBarnes.com and sign up for email updates.